Hey guys, how's it going? Today let's take a look at the Blackberry Priv smartphone. This is the first and only Blackberry so far powered by Android, which is pretty unique. And this is also Blackberry's latest smartphone released last year, 2015. So let's take a look at this guy. The box looks very businesslike, so nothing too special there. Very plain. But let's take a look inside. We have we have the Blackberry Priv right here, and as you can see, it's a very tall smartphone, and this is a 5.4-inch screen, I believe, and the pixel density is very high on this one, about over 400 ppi, because the resolution is 1440p, which is the same as a MacBook Pro Retina. So you guys can tell that the resolution is very high on this. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, and this handset is unique because it is running Android. As many people know, BlackBerry for many years, all the other phones are running their proprietary operating system called Blackberry OS, and this is the first time they're using Android on their phones. So it's very unique in that. Second thing is that it is a slider phone. This is actually the only smartphone I've seen recently that has a slider. So this is very retro feeling. It has a very physical keyboard, which is kind of BlackBerry's thing. So that's why it's a slider. They also have the touchscreen in case you want to use the on-screen keyboard. Okay, so what we have here, volume up and down and mute buttons right there. On the side here you have the power switch, and at the back you have 18 megapixel, and it's called a Schneider-Kreuznach lens. So this, I'm not sure if that means anything, but supposedly it takes some pretty good pictures, but I don't think it's as good as the iPhone. So it has a dual tone flash as well, just like the iPhone does, and a matte finish at the back. This is very similar to the BlackBerry Passport Silver Edition. Very similar feeling to that. Alright, what else do we have? We have manuals right here. Manual, and BlackBerry has provided us very kindly with a SIM card removal tool. That's very kind of them. And then after that we have the charger, headphones, which are probably standard, just probably going to be run-of-the-mill headphones, and of course the micro USB cable. Okay, I've been using the Blackberry Priv for a few days, so I'm going to give you guys my impressions on this versus the Blackberry Passport, which I also have. So if you compare these two, this is the Priv, this is the Passport. I'll give you guys my impression of this. The Passport is 4.5 inches, also about 1400, I believe, slightly lower pixel density. But the keyboard on the Passport, as you can see, the keys are bigger than on the Priv. When I was using the Priv, I felt like the keys, they don't have good enough travel. See, the travel here, kind of not as much tactile feeling as I want, and not as big, so it's harder to hit as well. You had to press the symbol key to bring up the symbols, and Alt to click on the numbers and stuff, which is kind of annoying, whereas in the Passport you have all this contextually on the touchscreen. So yeah, that's the camera on the back here. The Passport doesn't have as good a camera as a Priv, but of course BlackBerry has never been really known for their cameras, have they? And yeah, both these keyboards, the only physical keyboards I believe that are built in to the phones on the market, as BlackBerry is known for the keyboards. Both of these can be used to scroll web pages and other things as well, so that's very useful. I'll turn both of these on. I'll tell you guys the loading times of both of these. So let's turn them both on, compare. Alright, that one's loading. Alright, this one's loading. This one powered by Android. This is running the latest Android, and let's see, that's 6.0.1, I think. Okay, let's wait. The thing I didn't realize about the Priv is that the processing on this is actually much better than the Passport, and what I found in practice is that the Priv is actually a little bit slower when I'm in reality. I think it's because it's not as optimized as the BlackBerry operating system. Okay, this is loaded already. This is still loading. Okay, never mind. This has still loading several things. All right. And yeah, this is still loading. So I mean, the BlackBerry operating system is loaded already. What I believe the reason is because Android is kind of a bloated operating system. It has a bunch of other things that has to load, whereas BlackBerry OS has been optimized to work with the BlackBerry hardware. I think so. BlackBerry's stance on this is that they added their own proprietary layers in there to improve security, like DTAC and stuff. Whereas BlackBerry OS, the security is natively built into the OS. This being BlackBerry 10 OS, right? Which is better, you know. So one thing is I like BlackBerry operating system. The only thing I don't like about BlackBerry operating system is the apps are not there, which is why we have Android. But that is pretty much the only thing going for this phone, I think. So after a few days of using it, I think my impressions of the Priv is that it's not that responsive. Like, I use several of the apps on this. Opening apps, for example, sometimes I misclick, sometimes I open the wrong app, and this is a curved screen, so sometimes my fingers slip and then something else happens on the screen. So my experiences with this is not that good. I've used these both, right? BlackBerry Passport for a few months, BlackBerry Priv for a few days, and my impression is that the Priv, first of all, the number one thing I don't like about the Priv, okay, I'm going to go over what I don't like and what I do like. What I do like about the Priv is that the slider and the hardware keyboard concept is very, very cool. Having Android here is very, very cool because obviously you have all the apps that you want, right? Android has a very good app ecosystem. You can have any app that you want. And that's pretty much all I like about the Priv. Because the bad thing is that this handset is very, very tall. Right, it's 5.4 inches, and I find my hand already kind of slipping away when I use this. When you open up the slider, it becomes even taller, making it very hard to fit into your pocket. And if you're wearing like skinny jeans like I do, it's very, very hard to fit this into your pockets. So that's one thing I don't like about it. Second thing is the kind of the operating system or the integration with Android they have on this is very glitchy. At least in my experience, I've been using it. There's been several bugs. So I put this in my pocket. Sometimes it will launch some apps while it's in my pocket. I believe I pulled this out of my pocket before, and oh look, see, I didn't even do anything. It says, and eBay already like had a problem. Okay, so I put this in my pocket and took it out, and it was calling my voicemail like randomly. And I would take it out sometimes, or I would just be flipping through my apps, and another app would launch. It's just so many bugs and glitches with this thing. And one time I was walking around downtown, my battery dropped below 50%, and it turned battery saver on, and then I lost my internet, like just randomly. And I tried turning back battery saver back on, tried restarting the phone and everything. Nothing worked. It just, the internet just suddenly stopped working, which is crazy. That's like a crazy bug to me. So that's some of the things that happened to me with the Priv so far. And the battery life, oh my god. Like, okay, this battery life is much, much worse than, maybe like it drains twice as fast as the Passport does. Because, I think partly because of the screen and partly because it's not really optimized. So there are a lot of things I don't like about Priv. Passport, on the other hand, never had any bugs or glitches with this. Just works all the time. Battery life is very good. You can easily get a day out of the Passport. And just overall, yeah, very, very responsive. I like this. Very responsive. Priv, not very responsive. Launches apps randomly. Battery life is terrible. Yeah, so that's my impressions of the Priv so far versus the Passport. If you guys like BlackBerry, please get the Passport. It's better in every way except for the apps. If you really, really need Android apps and a hardware keyboard, just buy an Android phone and buy a Bluetooth keyboard to pair with it. I swear that is better than using this. And that's it. That's my recommendation. Stick with the Passport. BlackBerry, please don't stop supporting the Passport. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like my videos.